Good afternoon, everybody. Everybody will be jazzed up by the coffee, so I hope I can respond to that energy level that's in here, in the room. I was asked to talk about the future-proof cleantech investment strategy, like there is such a thing like future-proof. We don't know what's happening in the next couple of years in many aspects, but as far as an investor, you have to obviously take a couple of things into account, and I want to illustrate how we as Chrysalix SET are doing that. Just to introduce quickly our fund, we were founded in 2007. We are based in Amsterdam. We invest throughout Europe. We have two limited partners that are corporates, actually utilities. And the first fund was filled with 40 million in commitments, which we by now have fully allocated in that fund. Actually, I am also very happy to see that Novalet did a major exit recently, which adds to our success in 2011 by selling a fast charging company called Epion to ABB. I'll come back to that later, but that is a good return for our limited partners and also for us. Based on that, we are also setting up our second fund as we speak, in which we have already 20 million committed from our current limited partners, and we are expanding that number to new investors into the fund. From that 20 million, we already have made 2 investments, and both those companies will present later this afternoon. And I'm very happy that that link can be made through the Ecosummit here in London. We have a theme that is, we have a theme of investing in European technology companies. And I think the fact that we leave clean out there, it means that we are basically gearing towards a broad set of companies that are located in Europe that provide technologies that impact the future of energy. So we turn that a little bit around. It is about the technology companies that impact the energy in the future. And we call that sustainable energy because we leave out everything that has to do with the oil and the gas industry. We're looking at early growth companies. So the companies that are on the fringe of accelerating their sales, they are not there yet. They might have just 500,000 or less in revenue. We don't care about that too much, but are very rapidly approaching the curve in which they will increase their revenue going forward. And helping companies in that transition from an early stage developing company to a growth company, that is what our sweet spot is as far as investing is concerned. And we invest in innovative, capital efficient businesses and business models. So the capital efficiency is also, which is close to our heart, in thinking about companies that we like the most. And that spans everything from software companies, services platforms, hardware company, engineering firms, material science companies, and just plain product delivery companies. So technology companies that are in this area are all of our interest to invest in. But within that theme of technology companies and the sustainable energy domain that we cover, we focus and we set priority with companies that provide smart energy solutions. Quite frankly, if I just reflect the Sonnenbatterie that we just learned before is a great illustration of a company that we are not invested in, but illustrates what the actual interest is in this space where you add software layers to a hardware platform and bring solutions to end users, where the utilities, the EONs and the RWEs have trouble selling those kind of solutions right now into the market. And that is exactly where the opportunities are to make the energy mix different going forward and provide smart energy solutions. That is what we are focusing on. On top of that, we think that if you invest in a company, you shouldn't look at the best company in your own city, region, country, or even geography as far as Europe. You have to have a global perspective because technologies travel very fast, and something that works in the US will find its place here pretty rapidly, and vice versa. So we have built a Chrysalix global network of 3 independent venture capital firms, one based obviously in Amsterdam, that's us, Chrysalix SET, Then we have Chrysalix Energy Venture Capital based in Vancouver, and we have GRC Chrysalix based in Beijing. And these are independent funds with their own investment committees, with their own limited partners, and there is no financial or legal ties that bond ourselves except the branding. And through the branding, we want to illustrate that by us taking us as an investor in a firm, you also have access to the US and the Chinese market based on the relationship that we have built there. And we share deal flow. We discuss opportunities on a weekly basis with these groups. So by being local, being a European fund, we act very globally. Examples from our portfolio companies are these. We have a few more, but I wanted to illustrate these 5 companies. Microshade will be presenting later, so will Lux Excel and Sapphira. So won't take the thunder for these guys to bring to the table what they are. But beyond that, we have invested. We were the first investor in AlertMe, which in this part of the world is a pretty known startup. Before the somewhat larger VC stepped in, we were already the investor there, and this company has now grown to become a leader in the category of smart homes, because that's what they do. They create the ability to make your home smarter, starting with energy management as the first application for that. Another company that we're invested in is An-Ocean, is a Munich-based company. They do energy harvesting, so they are able to take very small amounts of energy from either pressing a button or a temperature difference, harvest that into their module and use that little bit of energy to set up a solid wireless communication with a receiver on the other side. Therefore allowing building automation, but also smart home, to be far more effectively employed. This company is very successful, and we see that now also in applications where intelligent lighting is coming up, where they find their way into the homes as well as in the large buildings. So these are all examples of companies that do something smart, where the software part is basically driving the business on top of a hardware product, if at all. And that is the sweet spot that we're investing in. I wanted to come back quickly on Epyon in that respect. Epyon is a company that makes chargers, fast charging of electric vehicles, now bought by ABB. The reason that ABB wanted to buy the company was basically because they needed the software infrastructure that Epyon had built to connect the battery of a car with the charger and the cloud to create the best charging algorithm for that particular situation. So again, that illustrates that software and software services are becoming the smarts of the energy mix going forward. And that is what we're really focusing on. So in conclusion, we think that if you want to be in clean tech, you have to invest in broadly technology companies. That should be the core of your activity investing. And forget about the clean tech itself as a theme under which all these technologies drive. But they should impact the way energy is used in the future, is distributed and stored, but also generated. And in those 3 things, you have to put it in a global perspective to make the best choices that you can make, that you can support locally. That will be my presentation on Chrysalix Set, and I'm very proud that you will hear 3 more of our examples in the next hour and a half, I guess. Thank you very much.
Do you have a question for Rene?
Because you're not fully connected with the 2 other entities, and you say you do sort of discuss everything during these joint calls, you guys have sort of a software bent to what you do. The US guys, I know, are quite interested in technologies for fossil fuels cleaning up. Should a company in that space really go to you and sort of expect that if you're not interested, it will be communicated properly or the way they'd like it to be to the US entity, or should they feel free to go to the US entity?
Everybody is free to go anywhere they want, so don't get it wrong. But by talking to us or being a part of having us as an investor in your company, obviously we can pave that path a little bit easier. That's what we're all about. Keep in mind that we still look at the broader clean sustainable energy sector. That's where we get our deal flow from and our knowledge. But where we really would like to see the investments going is where the smart is part of the solution. And our friends in Vancouver and in Beijing have actually the same philosophy to look at that broader sustainable energy sector and know the deal flow that's going on there. So that's what we tap into. Where we actually invest in is a little bit less relevant, I would say, in that respect. Yep. Thank you.